Okay. Hello and welcome to this episode of Tapping into Abundant Success. Today I'm joined with the fantastic Kayla Burch. She is actually going to be one of my keynote speakers coming up in the Spiritual Entrepreneur Business Growth Summit. Kayla, welcome.
Thank you so much for having me back today.
It's an absolute pleasure. So we've already done an interview before where you really shared your story about, having a baby, going into a wheelchair, husband nearly dying, and actually transforming everything and turning over a six-figure business as a spiritual entrepreneur. But today we want to talk about something a little bit different. So one of the things and one of your gifts, actually, what is your biggest gift to the world? If you could answer me that question first, and then we'll dive into the rest.
Yes. Thank you for asking that. I think that my biggest gift and what I'm really feeling really heavy right now in my life is the presence of my energy, and just the energy opens up abundance in others. And it's really difficult to, and I know you could do this or you understand this. It's really difficult to quantify that, of how somebody's energy actually creates expansion, with or without even speaking. And so I think that is just a gift that I have, is just this energy of empowerment, and people can really absorb that. And they really, if they want it, then they will apply it to their life and they'll use it to their benefit. And I think that's such a gift.
Oh, absolutely. That is a very magical gift. And knowing that just your presence can help change a life is phenomenal, right? And these are it's like superpowers. And I'm just so honored that you're sharing your superpowers, because there are so many out there that are not sharing those beautiful gifts. And this is, I feel that we as leaders in this community have a role to play, and that role is enabling others to unlock their gifts. So thank you so much for sharing your gift and bringing that to this interview today. So moving forward then, there is something really beautiful that you do, and as part of your chat within the summit is going to be not a chat. Let me rephrase that. That's total bullshit. You're not sharing a chat with us. You're sharing your gifts, your knowledge, and your experience with us in the summit. But what I would like to chat with you about today is the title, Unlocking Your Subconscious Power. So Kayla, tell me a little bit more about the benefits of unlocking that subconscious power. So those that are listening can go, yes, I need that, or yes, I want that, or this resonates with me, or this is divine for my journey. And they can get on in the summit and click on Kayla's live that she's going to be presenting. So tell us a little bit more about that.
Yeah. Absolutely. So when I talk about unlocking your subconscious power, it's a lot of this power. We all have power, right? We all have this innate power that's just given to us, and we just have innately. And what happens is we hide it and we stuff it down, and we don't want it to be seen for whatever reason. Very much like what you were just sharing about, the appreciation for sharing my gifts. It's really difficult for a lot of people to share that. And I even thought about it, and I'm like, how does that sound when I say just my presence opens people up, right? That could be looked at in such a negative way. And people could say, why would she say that? Why does she think that about herself? And I'm like, I don't think that about myself. I know that about myself. And so that subconscious power that we have is stepping into our knowing, our gifts, our life experience without apology. Right. And so there's so many different layers to it that we start to look at our world through our own lens versus looking at it through everybody else's, which is how we typically go through life, is looking at our life through how somebody else views it. So when you unlock that subconscious power, start to realize that you are only looking at it through your lens. That's the only way that you can move through life. And you start to kind of take that hazy color away, and you start to step into it really, really empowered.
Oh, absolutely. I completely agree. It was actually one of the ways that I started in business myself, was helping people reclaim their power. But it was after domestic abuse was kind of the theme that I ran with. And there is something really magical about helping someone unlock that power. When you're sitting and facilitating it and watching the transformation come alive, it's just absolutely awesome. So your work is so needed in this world, Kayla. So thank you so much for sharing that. So inside the summit, we're going to have Kayla sharing her magic and sharing her abundant gifts that she has developed, learned, and grown with. And what's the masterclass name again? It was something about unlocking your subconscious power.
Um,
Now I've kind
titles
of
are so
thrown that one
hard.
out there now, haven't I? Let me go and
Yeah. Do you have that? We
yeah.
could pull it up.
Unlocking your subconscious power, harnessing beliefs to shape your reality for success. Now,
Yes.
as a spiritual entrepreneur, even as an
Mhm.
individual, harnessing your beliefs to shape your reality is just so powerful. So Kayla is going to be specializing in mindset. And Kayla, if you could wave a magic wand right now for anyone listening or watching or planning to attend the summit that's upcoming, and being able to truly unlock abundant success for themselves, what would you wish for them in this moment?
Yeah. So what I would really like to share with everyone is that this power is within you. We've been talking about that, but you have that power to create your own reality, which I'm going to go into a lot of. And a lot of people get a little bit confused with what that means. And by creating our own reality, it doesn't necessarily mean that our external reality changes immediately or even changes at all. It just means that we create the reality in which we see the world that we're living in and how we experience it. And that has leaps and bounds shifts. And that can take quantum leaps to a whole nother level because you're not waiting for an external shift. You're only shifting internally. And so that's what I want to teach you how to do and teach you how to understand, teach you how to harness, is to understand that power that you have to create the reality that you want given any circumstances.
Oh, amazing. Magical, magical, magical. I can feel all the fairy dust just pinging up here, throwing out the glitter and saying, this is the magic wand of all magic wands. Absolutely amazing. Okay, so I'm being guided to ask you something specific because I really feel this is something that in this world, not in the world, in this community, spiritual entrepreneur community, at the moment, there is this word called quantum leap. Now, I have seen this quantum leap cause trauma. And it's something that I wanted to touch base with you on because I know this is an area you work in. I know this is an area that we can really help those that are considering quantum leaping, but making sure you're doing it safely. Because I think there is an element here where people are going, oh, quantum leap you, and that person ends up in severe trauma, and that hasn't actually helped them move forward. They move back. So how do you visualize, or how have you worked with quantum leap traumas?
Yeah. So I think it's an interesting perspective with it. And it's interesting that I use the word quantum leap because I don't usually use that language and I don't know why. And so I love that I used it and you brought it up and brought this question up. What a powerful thing for your audience today. And so I actually think that when I think about it, I think people who are having traumas after a quantum leap, it's from the fact that they weren't ready and they were harnessing somebody else's power. And so they were allowing something to happen to them, or they allowed something into their life that they weren't quite ready for. And so I think the more that we prep and allow ourselves to have a quantum leap and understand what that looks like, and then we're more prepared once we get to that other side, and now we're experiencing a huge shift, like that catalyst, then it's a much safer container. But if we don't deal with some of the things that were causing us trauma that we're trying to outrun now in our life, then we're just going to quantum leap, and they're maybe even they're larger, right? They're highlights on them larger because they're still there. And now we're thinking, why are they still here? I quantum leaped, right? I have this now. I have this success. I have this relationship that I wanted in such an overnight almost. Why is my baggage still here? And now it becomes more of a baggage. So I think that with that, you need to truly do the work to release so much of your subconscious beliefs that really are holding you back so you can sustain and be prepared when you do that. So if someone wants to come to me and they were experiencing like that trauma and they're like, I don't know what's in front of me. I don't know how to do this. I don't know how to handle this, this weight, because it people experience it differently. Some people are just blissed out for years. Some people, feel a high level of heaviness because they didn't know what to expect. And so I think it would just be as if you didn't have one. I would just start to help work with them. And I would encourage anybody else to work with their subconscious beliefs that are weighing them down. What are they holding on to? What are they holding on to that's keeping them in this previous way of being? Right. Because that's what that heaviness is there hasn't been a release of that deep seated rooted belief that kept you there. Somehow you were able to go, but now it's going to root you down again.
Absolutely. And I suppose it's just something that I felt is a really valuable topic right now, especially with the upcoming summit. You know, a lot of people are going to have some quantum leaps, and we are going to see some massive shifts. A lot of the speakers are magical beings with superpowers that have made success as a spiritual entrepreneur, doing all the woo-woo, doing all the change. But I really feel like we as the leaders need to be making a stand about how to cope with trauma before a quantum leap. But also, from my experience with helping clients quantum leap, I utilize a lot of chakra work. So we do the safety and stabilisation. It's safe for me to have what I want. And I feel a lot of the gurus and online space and communities actually are quite damaging to those that are going through that process of wanting transformation and change. So I'm so honored that you are aware of it, that you're working with it, that you're supporting your clients with that, and creating positive lasting change rather than momentary step forward.
Exactly, because there's so much clearing that you have to do within the body. And the interesting thing about my work is I work in this realm, this more spiritual realm, but it's not always something that I communicate with my clients. So a lot of my clients come to me and they don't know that I'm channeling messages, and they don't know, and they don't care, right? If I told them, they'd probably be like, cool. But it's just this space where it's almost like I've gotten these messages that I'm the gap. Right. I'm filling a gap. I'm the bridge that fills a gap between this unknown kind of like woo-woo space and then the people that really want it and are open or accepting to it. But as soon as you say chakra, they block themselves. Does that make sense? And so I fill this gap, and it opens up so much for people, which is why I don't use language like quantum leap. And because it's just this bridge to this beautiful place, and everyone's going to the same place. It doesn't matter what you call it, right? It doesn't matter if you call it, you know, spiritual development or chakras or quantum leaping or Christianity or any of these things. It's all based in this rooted space of just opening and becoming closer to self, which comes closer to creation. And so, and whatever that means for each individual. And so I find that to be really interesting. And I think that the biggest harm is when people identify so closely and they say, I'm the only one that can get you there, right? I'm the person that can do this for you, and nobody else can. And you don't have much control over it, which is why I think people release their control, because they think that that's the only person that can give it to them. When in all reality, it's you, right? And then they think that somebody else did this to them instead of realizing that you stepped into this, ill prepared for what's happening.
Oh, absolutely. And I'm so pleased you've brought that in as well, because it's something I see a lot. And actually, it's something that I actually share with my clients on a regular basis. And they'll say, thank you, Vicki, for helping me do. And I'm like, whoa, hang on a minute. All I did was facilitate the space and give you some gentle guidance. You are the one that does the work. I can't wave a magic wand and make it better for you. But I can definitely guide you to where you need to go by questioning and using channeled messages to get you to where you want to go. That's my gift. My gift is holding that space. And I'm so pleased that you brought that in, because I do know that not many out there do use that. And it really upsets me on such a deep level that there is just this world where the truth is not being what it is. But anyway, that's me digressing, totally digressing. Okay, Kayla, please tell me now. What one thing are you really excited about more than anything else about the summit?
Oh, goodness. Oh my gosh, so many things. But I'm just so excited to be able to be surrounded by so many like-minded, like practitioners, coaches, people in their space that are experts, and being able to bring so much valuable information to so many people, because I think it's needed. And I think when you bring people together like this, who are open and doing it for the reasons of just up-leveling the earth, right? It's not selfish reasons. It's not we're all the ones. It's just you're the one. So you need to step into it. And that's such a beautiful thing. And I'm so excited to be a part of that, raising that evolution.
Oh, totally. Yay. So
Mhm.
excited for this.
Yes.
And it was actually one of the missions that when I started creating this, because I created the idea of this summit in March after the self-love virtual retreat that I did.
Mhm.
And my mission here was actually, let's stop the divide. How can we, as leaders in this community, stop the divide between the masculine and the feminine and actually form a space of unity where
Mhm.
spiritual entrepreneurs are stepping forward with their amazing gifts and they are creating magic together as a
Mhm.
community, as one. We are not
Yeah.
leaders leading the way through, I'm better than this person, I'm better than this. Everybody's coming at it with a level head. We are a community, we are one person. So thank you so much for sharing that mission. I love your wish and your excitement about the summit. And I'm really looking forward to bringing it all together, to raising the collective, because that is what we're doing.
Yes, yes, yes. Mhm.
So much magic is going to take place over in the summit. So Kayla, thank you so much for joining me and sharing this short time together. I can't wait to see you inside the summit, and I can't wait for your masterclass. It's all going to be absolutely phenomenal.
Thank you so much.
So for anyone listening, get yourself registered, get yourself signed up, make sure you are part of the summit, because Kayla is one of 17 amazing guest keynote speakers that are here to help you transform your world from the inside out. Much love and bye-bye for now.